Look, old boy tried me the other day. That was his last day. Ain't no way. I'm JJ. I killed him anyway. That's all I got to say.
Okay, so let me ask you.
First of all, did you like that?
It has potential to do something.
I'm just here to listen. Podcast bringing the best in music, sports, theater, and live on television. Listen. So intentional with the message, imagery, representation. Don't need a second guess.
Hey everybody, and welcome. I am Juming Delmas. You have just tuned in to the I'm Just Here to Listen podcast, where we talk all things Black entertainment and everything in between to give you exclusive insight on the entertainment, the truth, and relatable culture. Today's episode, we have Daniel Laurent in the building. He's been rapping for quite some time now. Got very old school style. Where are you from, Daniel? I'm sorry, I missed the whole.
I'm from Boston, Roxbury to be exact.
Roxbury?
Roxbury, yeah.
All right, Roxbury.
It's in Boston. That's what everyone knows worldwide.
Okay, so my dog is all the way in Boston.
Yeah.
Here on the show. Thank you so much for joining. You guys are already here, so you might as well listen in and get settled in. We'll see you guys on the show. Talk soon.
I'm just here to listen. Podcast bringing the best in music, sports, theater, and live on television. Listen. So intentional with the message, imagery, representation. Don't need a second guess it. Listen. No talking, level surface, reverse it. It's encrypted on purpose. Listen. Juming and the team so grateful. Each week we deliver to the faithful. I'm just here to listen.
All right. Yeah. Daniel. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I wanted to make sure I was logged in early.
Yeah, you logged in super early. Super early. But I like that because I feel like that gives us a little bit of time. People got a problem with Black people coming early. I think that's a good thing. I'm a Black person that comes in early very often.
It's a very easy trope to just be it's the old saying, if you're 10 minutes early, you're late. Something like that.
So technically you were late, Dan.
Kind of. Well, you know what was funny is I was on here since 11:42 or something like that, but I didn't realize I had to join the studio. I thought I had to be brought in. And so I put in my name and I was just sitting there, and then I looked up and it said join studio, and I'm like, oh, okay.
So you missed that big ass join studio, so you were sitting there for 20 minutes.
I was listening to Joe Budden. The new episode just came out, so I was listening to that and then trying to get my light right.
Get your lighting right for the show.
Yeah, because I don't want it to look. So you see how it's the difference. I didn't want it to look super crazy, so I figured this is good.
Oh, so you care?
Hey, man. The worst thing is because your lighting is always consistent. And so when you have people that's in their car or they're in some weird space, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to look crazy.
To be fair, man, I like that kind of stuff. It kind of that. It kind of gives a cool, fair, like a cool balance to it.
Contrast.
It don't feel so corporate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that vibe. So who are you, and why people care about you right now? Why should people even care to listen to you right now? Who are you?
I'm an artist. I'm a creative Black man, father, husband, and I care about, I feel like we all have our born date, we all have our death date, and it's what's in between that defines us and what matters. And so every single day I'm trying to define that dash. And so whether it's through artistry, bringing awareness of social issues and trying to course correct in real time, not just talking about it, right? But I just feel art is super important, and people misuse and abuse the tool that art is. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like a toolbox, and if you need a Phillips screwdriver and you use a hammer, it's not the same. So, you know, I'm just trying to do my part.
Bro, what are you talking about? Just lost me. I wasn't even like when you was talking, my mind was somewhere else. I said, I was gone. Are you are you a motivational speaker or something?
Partially, yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's just a matter of I want to inspire. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I just want to inspire. That's it.
So what do you want to inspire and what though? Like who are you trying to inspire?
I think you know, Nipsey Hussle, right? When he was murdered, it changed some things for me. And I just wanted to be intentional with my music and my messaging and imagery. And my hope is always to put the medicine in the candy, you know, and so no one wants to be preached to, you know, unless you're going to service, right? But if you can put little nuggets into whatever you're saying, whether it's an interview, whether it's a song, whatever it is, like that's important. And so that's what I always try to do.
Wait, so you said when Nipsey Hussle died, who was you as a rapper before he died?
It was still a level of high level of consciousness. And so, you know, my subject matter, I was always mindful of, but I think it went times 10 after he was killed because of the heartbreak that I felt. You know what I'm saying? And
you ever met him?
No. But that's
ain't that crazy? You just grow this emotional attachment to somebody you never met.
But that's the power of art. I felt the same thing with Tupac. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's that's the power of art. You know, and you have people that like fan out and like pass out and all that. Like I was never to that level, but I remember Tupac in the interview saying a true art. You know, he doesn't have all the answers, right? But he guarantees he will spark the brain of the person that will change the world. And so I remember that, and it inspired me at that moment. So, you know, I'm hoping that I can just continue in my part, you know.
Would you judge me if I told you I didn't know who Nipsey Hussle was before he died?
No, you're not alone. I mean, unfortunately, you know, through death, but see, again, it depends on how you lived, right? There are a lot of rappers, if you want to say, a lot of people, but a lot of rappers are murdered, right? You don't necessarily deep dives into what they were doing and their initiatives and their community things and their business acumens and all those type of things, right? But if you live a certain way and you have certain messaging, it does unfortunately get amplified when you pass. Even if you look at Young Dolph, you know what I'm saying? And people started digging into how much he was really into real estate and what he did with his kids. And he got all his kids' own properties. And like, that's dope. You know, we can swear or no?
Hell yeah. I be cussing all the time.
All right. So yeah. So that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's important to me.
Young Dolph is another one I didn't know.
Yeah, I wasn't so big into Dolph. I knew of him, but I wasn't heavy into his music like that. Yeah. Nipsey, it wasn't I was so heavy into his music, but I think the interviews and what he was saying, I just, you know, I don't like when I hear, and some people, this is what, how can I say, some artists are, a lot of artists are really introverts. So when it's time to do interviews, it's very one-word answers. Yup, I know, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? But when you can say something and inspire people in the way that you're communicating your message, that's what's important to me. And Nipsey did that, which made me delve into his music to understand the whole journey. So, you know, you're not alone. A lot of people wasn't really into his music like that.
To be fair, like when I think about all the rappers, like I probably live under a rock. Like I didn't know who Nipsey was. I didn't know who Young Dolph was. I didn't know who Pop Smoke was. I didn't know who XX was. I didn't know who King Von was. And I did know Takeoff. I didn't, so I knew Takeoff before he died.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't know him, but I knew of him.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and I also knew PNB Rock. I knew he had before he died. To which all these guys died from gun violence. I mean, how you, like, in your opinion, like, how do you as a rapper feel about like all these rappers dying just within a short period of time?
I think that it's a reflection of what's happening every day. You know what I'm saying? That there's the amount of people being killed by gun violence has definitely skyrocketed in general. And I think the difference is we just happen to know these people because of their talents or because of whatever it is.
Well, why do you think it skyrocketed?
I think it's a long conversation. The high level answer is America's fascination with violence and the accessibility of guns. I think the lack of resources and hope and inspiration for a lot of young people. I think it's a different, I speak from a vantage point of being fortunate where I had both of my parents. They were involved in street activities, and so I grew up in that, but I seen it, and even though I grew up in it, I never felt like it was glamorized to me, right? Like I was in bars, like I would go to the Oasis in Harlem, right? My father would go back and forth to New York, doing certain things, and I would be in a bar at maybe 6, 7 years old, like in the bar, like while he went to go do something, and
Doing
I'm talking,
what?
sitting, but there was his people that were there, but I'm talking to prostitutes and pimps and whomever
At 7?
about life. So I remember that.
Damn.
Right. Which then, in my adult life now, I can talk to anyone from different walks of life and find some commonality. Right. Just because this is what you do doesn't define the totality of who you are. And that started all the way back then. My point of saying all that is, I think, there is, there's an obsession with certain, whether it's our favorite movies, favorite TV shows, there's a certain detachment that I always had of this is entertainment and this isn't life. I never, as I was growing up, felt like I was never going to survive past the age of 18 or the age of 21. I never felt that way, right? That makes a difference. I never had a teacher tell me you're never going to be anything. I never had that experience. A lot of people had that. So, I think all that.
And you a rapper?
Yeah.
Man, most rappers, when you hear like their story, they have a pretty rough upbringing where like they have like they were raised in a single family household. Like, you were raised in a 2-parent household.
Mm-hmm.
They typically, and especially in hip hop, they rap about like their struggles. So if you wasn't really struggling like that, what you rapping about?
So it's 2 parts. So to your point, yes, a lot, but because that's almost like the rapper starter kit, that's almost the easy go-to low-hanging fruit. This is what I'm going to rap about, right? That's a thing. Now, for me, again, what I said, I had both parents. Both of my parents were heavily involved in street activities and both addicted to drugs, right? Not heroin, but certainly coke. Like coke was on my kitchen table. Like I seen it. I made a choice early on that the things that I seen and was immersed in, I chose not to rap about. I don't know exactly why, but then again, fast forward when I met a teacher of mine that became a mentor, he told me a true artist paints a picture of a better world, right? So it's easy to say, yeah, when I go outside, man, I see crack vials and, you know what I'm saying, and police throwing me up against it. Yes, but what do you want to see? What type of world do you want to create? So I always took that approach. And then when you look back, so to your point, look back at Kid and Play. Play was heavily involved in shit. He don't rap that. He never rapped that way. Tretch, Naughty by Nature, heavily involved. Never rapped about it. Then you have
But to be fair though, hip hop was derived from that though. Like it's like it was derived from
truth.
From truth, from
Also
from rough
forecast.
upbringings, from police brutality, for like, we're talking like it was designed to be a voice for black men or for the black culture to be able to relate what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm. But also there was hyperbole. There was visions of grandeur. There was forecasting from Sugar Hill Gang. We're talking about, I don't remember the line, but the TVs and all that. Like they didn't have any of that. Go to NWA. Eazy-E was the one who was involved in the streets. Maybe MC Ren to a degree, but Dre certainly wasn't. But NWA represents what it represents. So, what do you say? I'm authentic and consistent in however I'm presenting and talking about. And it makes it easy for me. I never have to put on a monkey suit.
So what do you rap about? If you ain't rapping about struggles and you ain't rapping about like hood violence, what you talk about?
I'm rapping about life. So right now,
that's what they rap about. They rap about life. That's their life experience.
Authentic life and genuine life.
What is that?
So what I mean is, I'm a person where I made a record called Cry For Me that I wrote based off of situations that was happening with young women that I either knew directly or indirectly that was being, murdered. I grew up with the principles of no women or children would be harmed. Not to say that back then women weren't being harmed, but I think with social media has definitely amplified the accessibility of things. My point is, Cry For Me, I wrote as an artist to try to course correct and to try to convey a message, which then I wrote a video and a short film that is centered around domestic violence and sexual abuse, which led to a lot of my advocacy and, doing testimonials and things like that. Right. And this shirt, corrective action is the only option. And so proceeds from this hoodie goes towards domestic violence initiatives.
I want to push back on something real quick. You said something about authentic life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, while this is authentic, but like certain rappers have they would consider their life authentic. I mean, niggas lost their brothers, lost their homies to gun violence, killings, especially within what makes that not authentic or real life to talk about.
It doesn't make it not authentic. I think there's different level of artists. I'll start there. Right? There's different levels of artists. And so it's a semantic conversation to have. It's not for me to ever judge someone's artistry. I do think there's a way in which you talk about a story and detail a story, and you detail the highs and the lows and the result of it, and don't glamorize things, right? I think there's a way in which you do that.
So how would you not glamorize gun violence? Like because oftentimes we hear shit in music about
I'll give you an example.
Killing is glamorized. How could you not glamorize that?
I'll give you an example. Saying, such and such, run up on them, headshots, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. From that, what about his mother? What about his 2-year-old daughter that now grows up without a father? What about the community that person probably supported that is now impacted? That now the trauma circulates throughout all these people.
Why would somebody care about that though?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if someone cares. The point is, what I'm saying to you is, there's a difference of having the conversation and telling the story in totality. You can sell drugs and you can make all your money and buy all your things. But the reality is the end life of a drug dealer usually ends one of two ways. Period. I know firsthand. Period. If you don't tell the full totality and just tell the glamorization of it, it is what it is. I mean, and that's a choice that you make.
You're stretching on something very long here. I mean, you're talking about changing the narrative of hip hop, you know, as what's popular today. Like, you're still talking like people like, it's all good. It sounds good. But oftentimes people don't want to listen to that. That's not what people are. That's not what's in tune right now. That's almost like, I mean, while we know that hip hop, you know, once talked about cultural society, you know, not slavery, but poverty, things of that nature, that was hitting then. There's something about the ideal of trying somebody and showing how tough you are in hip hop. That's just like popular. Like, what you're talking about may work for like older generations. I don't think that's going to work for younger generations. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, it's an opinion, you know. Right. I think there's initiatives that's happening. I'm a part of one, 10,000 Fearless Peacemakers in Boston, right? It's going around promoting a culture of peace. Peace is not looked at as the cool thing, right? However,
no.
What I have done, even in artistry, is putting them in certain spaces where it's a little more appealing versus just seeing some guys walking down the street.
How do you make peace appealing to younger demographics or just the demographic of people who are so accustomed to violence in rap music?
Through art.
How so through art?
It's multifaceted, but having them in a music video, having them showcase in a way where like people are like, what is that? And consistently seeing the imagery and the messaging of what that initiative is, the repetition of it, and putting the medicine to candy. And again, not preaching down to people.
Because that's what it comes off as, though. I feel like that antic of rapping comes off as kind of preachy. People you said it earlier. People don't want to be preached to, and people gonna hide the message under whatever. But you know, society isn't dumb.
So
they know when something's coming off too preachy, and there's artists that are even slightly tapping into gospel a little bit. Who's that rapper? She did a gospel. Was it Glorilla?
Oh yeah,
she did a gospel track or something like that. I don't know how well it did, but like, I mean, like.
But you know what? That's it. So you use that example. Perfect. You want to know why? Because you say you don't know how well it did. How do you measure that? But if someone's listening to Yeah Glow, which I love that record. You listen to Yeah Glow, and then right after that you got, I think it's called Glory. I think it's Glorious. Right after that you have that record. Whether that hits to you or you're playing that when you're in the gym or not, you heard it.
Do you like the gospel flow better than the Yeah Glow, or you like the Yeah Glow better?
Personally, I like the Yeah Glow record.
So, but that's positive though. Why?
But that doesn't. But I'm living a certain way, so I don't need the conversation. I relate some of what we're talking about to community meetings that we have, especially as Black folks. Well, when there's a problem or death or anything, we all go to a meeting and we voice all our concerns or frustrations, right? And then we have another meeting about the meeting. Then we have another meeting about the meeting, and we have another meeting about that meeting. And then slowly people wean off, right? It starts with 100, then it gets to 50, then 25, then 10, and 5. What I'm saying is the 5 that remain that get something from it, I'm fine with that. We're not going to change the world. I know I'm not going to change the world, but I know for a fact There's someone I just spoke to yesterday that from a record that I did and from a short film that I did sought resources to get help in her situation that she's in. That to me doesn't matter about anything that anyone else is saying, because that's a fact. That's a real thing that happened. And that's
okay. Would you agree with me if I say basically you're saying like, you can listen to like the trap and music that talks about or promotes violence. You just saying don't be influenced by it because it's slightly more catchier than most of the stuff we listen to. At least for now. Are you saying that just as long as people aren't influenced by what they listen to, it's all right to listen to it?
No, I would never say that. I think everything is influential. I think a podcast you listen to is influential. Right. I think, your neighborhood, like you're influenced by all the things. I think the conversation that we are having, the difference with me that I will speak from myself is the foundation that I had that I was privileged and fortunate enough to start with. And I'm not take my parents out of it. I had mentors. I didn't seek them, but I had mentors. That makes a big difference. I had people who believed in me for whatever reason, poured into me. That makes a big difference. So I speak from a different perspective. Yeah. There are unfortunately a ton of people that never had that. So I don't speak in a sense of you shouldn't. It is what it is.
I got here. What we'll do. Say you're a mentor now. Then say I'm a dude. I'm in the rapping industry. I'm in the hood. I sell dope right now. Right. Let's play it out. We'll do a scenario. You ready? You got me. I'm sitting in your chair. You got the little counselor chair anyway, so that looks great with the little leather and the buttons. So you got your little perfect little setup. All right. So here we are. We're gonna do a 2-minute skit. How would you how are you gonna change my mindset and like that? So here we are. I'm sitting down. Hey, what's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Chilling. I'm only here because the court judge told me to come here.
Word. So you make music? I heard.
Yeah, I do that full time right now. Yeah, I started doing that seriously for like a year now.
So you've been to the studio? You recorded records already?
Yeah. No. I got my like real nigga shit. Like I got my own like studio in the crib and shit. So like, I'll be recording on my own computer and stuff. So I don't really even go to the studio.
So you got something that I can hear?
You want me to freestyle for you right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, old boy tried me the other day. That was his last day. Ain't no way. I'm JJ. I killed him anyway. That's all I got to say.
Okay, so let me ask you.
First of all, did you like that?
It has potential to do something. What
you mean?
So what I mean is I want to first, because there's different styles that people can approach, right? But first and foremost, the messaging I'm hearing, I want to make sure that you're good.
Yeah, bro. No, for real. That's real talk. Cause he tried me for real.
It might be real, but I'm speaking
talk.
from a space of I want to make sure you're good after we finish this session, right? So is that real life that you just said, or is that like a hypothetical?
What you mean? Is that real life? Yeah, like there's niggas out there that be trying me. Like we got ops for real though.
No, but did you just confess something on a record? Is what I'm asking.
What you mean that I confess something? No, I'm rapping, bro. Like I'm saying this is what I would do in the event somebody actually tried me like that. Like I got a lot of options. In this business, that's real talk.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, would you kill somebody if somebody tried you?
I would never document on a record.
Like say it.
What you mean?
Like you wouldn't say it like on a beat.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Not on the record, not on a video. No.
Why?
You're
Because
doing
they got the law. They can't use your music against you in the court of law.
Well, that's not true.
Oh.
Thank you for being here and listening. Subscribe to the vibes, send your support or oppositions in. I'm just here to listen in. Podcast here for the repositioning, reclaiming black entertainment, exhibition and transitioning. The more informative news, mentioning celebs, who's sleeping with who's is not what we soliciting. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for tuning in to the episode of I'm Just Here to Listen podcast. Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more updates. To catch the full episode, exclusive content, short films, and documentaries, subscribe to our Patreon by scanning the link in this video. We appreciate your support and see you on part 2.